Hey, how's it going, everybody? Hope you're all doing well. Today, just want to talk about CSGO, or in particular Counter-Strike as a series in general, and why this series really hasn't died, and why I don't think it ever will, honestly. Everybody knows Counter-Strike. It's kind of been the darling child of, PC shooters for, decades at this point, starting in the late 90s even. It's a truly a masterpiece of a series, as is a lot of stuff that Valve touches. They really just knock it out of the park most times. I kind of just wanted to hit on a little of why I think that is. And just first off, it's not a game that's been changed a bunch over the years. You go back to the early 2000s and to where it is today, it's not irrecognizable by any means. But I think the formula of if it's not broke, don't fix it is something that's lost on a lot of game companies and a lot of people in general today. Whereas CS:GO or Counter Strike in general, and I think a lot of Valve games, they kind of find their niche, they kind of find what works for them, and they kind of just stick with it over the decades for a lot of their games at this point. And it's really just worked for them. Part of it is a nostalgia factor. Part of it is kind of like a comfort game. It's kind of the same reason people go back to like watching The Office or Parks and Rec year after year instead of constantly just switching the new things. It's just a show you can put on, and this is a game you can play. When you need something to play, when you don't know what to play, when you want someone reliable to fall back onto. And I think that's really been a big thing for them. And it's hard to see why it wouldn't become repetitive, while a lot of other games you play like that would. But there's just a comfort and like a I don't know. It's a comfort and a reliability and something you already know, and it's always there. It's always gonna hit, and it's a great game for that. And I also think, I mean, while part of it is it hasn't changed too much, the slight tweaks they make year after year, whether they be new maps or balance changes, of course, and releasing new games sometimes. It always keeps the secret formula, but it just kind of refreshes it, gives it a new coat of paint per se, not changing up the formula like a Call of Duty does. You look at Call of Duty now compared to like 10 years ago, and it's recognizable of sorts, but a lot has changed, and I think that's part of the reason why that series kind of has gone downhill recently. Another thing is just, I mean, I'd be foolish to say that like Valve and Steam supporting it being on there and it being the main, focus child of what essentially is quintessential PC gaming with Steam is not helping it, because it definitely is. That's a major factor as to how it retains its player base and its number one spot on the Steam charts and on PC player base, year after year. Even when new games, new challenges are coming out, whether it's similar to it or not, stuff like over the years, obviously has always competed with games like Overwatch, like games like Valorant recently, that are essentially newer. I don't want to say clones of it, but you know, kind of filling on the same niche there. And yet, even games like Valorant and stuff, it's almost like World of Warcraft, where a lot of stuff tries to kill it, tries to replicate it, but it never really has the X factor, and it never really kind of hits the mark the same way that Counter Strike will. I'm not saying they're not great games in their own right, but it's never going to be the level. And there's a reason why CS will sometimes lose its top spot on the Steam charts for a little bit. It'll always be back there in the next month or so. It's a great game, and it's something that's always going to be around, no matter the competitors. And there's a lot of things that contribute to that, whether it's Valve, whether it's just a amazing gameplay loop that they've kind of developed over the years, the skin and trading market on there that's bigger than a lot of small countries, GDP is. It's just a great game, and yeah, it's definitely going to be around for a while. And just kind of want to hit on that for you today. So, peace.